Think travel agents just book flights? Think again. In fact, if you want to be a 6+ figure earning travel professional, you're going to have to do a lot more than just reservations. We're going to dive in today. Keep on watching. All right, guys, don't forget to take a moment, like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell right here on YouTube. We bring you amazing content every single week to help you grow your travel businesses, and I don't want you to miss a thing. If you're new here, type a little "I'm new" in comments so I can welcome you to our community. And if you are new, you might not know who I am. My name is Cyndi Williams. I'm the CEO and founder of Wanderlust Campus. You can find all of our information over at travelschool.com. In short, we do everything for you from an educational perspective to help you grow your travel businesses, including we run the #1 certification in the country, the gold standard of certification for travel agents that helps you get on the path to more growth and more success. So find all of that over at travelschool.com. But today, guys, we're talking about what do you have to do beyond booking flights? What are the things that are really going to make you get into that 6+ figure earning status in the industry? And it's obviously not just booking flights. In fact, most of us don't love to book flights. You can only make commission on a certain subset of flights, things like consolidator air and things like that. So it is probably the smallest part of your revenue stream as you are growing as an agent. But we're also going to talk about some of those soft skills that make the difference when you are growing and scaling your business. So let's jump right in. Guys, first things first, let's talk about client consultations and customer itinerary planning. The better you are at client management, qualifying your client, understanding what their needs are, doing really a consultative type service experience, and then matching what they want with the most impeccable, skillful itinerary planning makes all the difference when you are growing and scaling your business. Why? Because anyone can go on the internet and book certain sets of travel. What makes the experience of working with you different, right? So understanding how to listen actively to your clients, understanding what their desires are, and then how to match them with the right experiences. It's an art when you're really, really good at it. And all of this stuff can be learned. So just, don't worry. None of us were born with the knowledge, but it can be learned. And you also want to really understand, as you're crafting and curating special things for your client, what is the above and beyond those standard type packages that are out there. So when you become a trusted travel advisor, these are reasons why clients will book with you again and again and again, because they are there for the experience, not just the quick fix of I booked an airline ticket, right? And let me share a couple data points with you guys. I'm going to pull up this graph here really quickly. So the global online travel industry, and these are stats from CTM Travel, was valued at, so back in 2023, right around 512 billion with a B. And that was back in 2023. This year, you can see we've jumped up higher than that, right around the 700 mark. Guys, by 2032, we are projected to be at 1.26 trillion in the growth space. That's a growth rate of almost 13%, guys. That is huge if you compare that to other industries and other things that are out there. But this should make you feel so great about what's on the landscape for travel. But the question I always want to ask you is, what is going to be your piece of that pie? So as you're growing and scaling your business, we know the numbers are already there. We're already seeing it in the data right now that the numbers are there. And the growth is going to be only that much more over the next 10 years. How are you going to show up and stake your claim on those pieces, right? All right, so let's talk about the next number 2, kind of beyond just booking flights and reservations in general. Understanding the power of being a good salesperson and being able to communicate value. So I always say, people are like, ugh, sales. I get it. But if you approach sales as it doesn't have to be a slimy, uncomfortable situation, in fact, it should be the opposite. If you approach it as I'm just solving someone's problems. I'm kind of a problem solver, right? You're going to understand what they want. You're going to understand what their desires are for their vacation. And then you're going to match them with the things that meet their needs. So you can take a more consultative approach, and that's going to feel so much more authentic and organic. And this is how we train inside our certification program in Careers on Vacation. We train consultative sales. I'm actually certified in consultative sales. I used to be the person that they would bring in to train 1,000 people at a time. It would be like classes of 30 over like 2 months. And I would train consultative sales process because it isn't that icky, yucky sales. So first of all, you have to get around that stigma of understanding sales doesn't have to feel yucky or feel pushy in any way, shape, or form. In fact, if you're doing it right, it should feel like you're making a friend. And you're just solving their problems and you're helping them. So that will change your world, having the right sales system in place. And I know we talk a lot at Wanderlust campus about marketing systems and operations and automation. Yes, we teach all those things too, but the magic of being a fantastic salesperson makes you feel great about your job. It makes you feel like you're really serving clients in a way that makes everybody feel good. So your sales system is just as important. Don't underestimate that, especially in this category. And then handling objections. That's going to be stuff that comes up. Don't freak out about handling objections. This is one of the things that we train too. But any objection that could pop up, that could come up with a client, again, they're not telling you no, they're just asking you to solve the problem or to give them some more information to solve the problem in their brain so they then can move forward with the decision to make the purchase. So I love objections. In fact, I'm so thankful when someone tells me what their objections are, because I can see, well, is that a fair objection? Is there a workaround for it, or how can we meet their needs? Or, oh, they didn't know this piece of information, that will solve their problem, and then they'll be ready to make the purchase. So a lot of times objections are a gift that your client's giving you. So don't shy away from those as well. The other thing that is really magic in your sales process is understanding how to cross-sell and upsell in a way that meets your client's needs as well. And again, this doesn't have to feel yucky or extra, but if you really understand your client, like one of the things that I always say is, yes, I'm going to give them a couple options at their budget, but I'm always going to give them an option above their budget with some of those wow factors. If they're going for their 20th anniversary, or this is the only time they're going to be taking their kids to Disney, or they're only going to fly across the world and do this international tour for this cruise once, I'm going to give them the option for a junior suite or a full-on suite along with the ones that were their budget. You would be surprised how many times, if you can do that skillfully, that they will go, you know what, Cyndi, I appreciate you showing us that. We have 9 months to save for that. Let's go ahead and book the higher amount one. And you're going to make more commission. They're going to have a better time. They booked a better vacation. They're going to love you for it. So it's a win-win for everybody at the end of the day. So understanding how to do that in a skillful way, work on that. If your close rates are not where they need to be or where you want them to be, you may have to double down on getting better with your sales systems. All right, next up is crisis management and problem solving. I have so many newbies. They're like, oh my gosh, the flight canceled. Or, oh my gosh, it's like the first thing that's happened. There's nothing we can't handle in this industry. Stuff pops up and things happen, crazy stuff. I have all the stories I could tell you guys. But the reality is just like with the sales process, not being scared, with crisis management, this is your opportunity to put your mask and your cape on and be the hero of that client's story. So when the airline does something like cancels a flight, they show up at the hotel and they give them the wrong room, or whatever the million things that could go wrong on a vacation, your job is to advocate for them. And here's the truth of the matter. You do that one time for a client, you solve their problem, you're the hero of their story, they will book with you for the rest of their lives because they know they can make a phone call and you will go to bat for them. So don't, again, shy away from crisis. This is one of those things you want to jump in, you want to be a fixer, figure out what you need to do to kind of navigate those processes. Reminder for all of my alumni and students, there is a crisis management module inside your Careers on Vacation certification program. It's a newer module, so it may not have been there when you took the program, but my students get all of my new stuff too. So I'm going to push everybody to that and remind you, if you're a student, you get that for free. So just log in, you can get all of the crisis management steps, templates, how to handle, what to do when, all the things is in there for you guys already. Next up is technical proficiency. Look, I know some of y'all have been travel agents since 1982. It is time to step into the new decade that we're in, the new century that we're in, all the things, and embrace technology. I get it. I've been doing this for 30 years, guys. I used to book everything on a GDS, a global distribution system, which is literally when you do the hotel, the flight, the car rental, all in one system. They still exist today. A lot of corporate agents will use GDS systems, but most leisure agents are booking using multiple booking systems. So you have more tech that you have to learn today from a booking perspective, but also from an automation perspective. The better you are at navigating this technology and knowing what your tech stack needs to be to deliver a seamless, high quality experience for your client, the better experience your client's going to have, and they're going to come back to you again and again. This is things like not only how do you craft that beautiful itinerary, but how do you present that beautiful itinerary. And so we have tech and tools that we train inside the programs. There's different ones that are out there in the industry. This video would be 8 hours long if I tried to go through all of them, but you have to decide what one are you going to learn, what are you going to commit to, and integrate that into your operational systems so you are creating an experience that stays on par with everything that's out there today. So you can't expect people that run their life off of apps and things to just get an email and printed out vouchers to go on their vacation. No, they want things in an electronic form. They want it online. They want it quicker, faster, all the things. So you have to meet them where they are. So having a good tech stack is really, really important. All right, next up, time management and organization. This is one of those behind the scene things, but I think from a operational perspective, it's really important. And for those of you who have been following the channel for a while, or maybe you haven't, I have 3 kids, 1 in college. I have 2 high schoolers, and we also own multiple businesses. That's a lot to handle, right? 3 businesses, 3 kids running 3 different directions. My amazing husband, of course, is the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain doing fun stuff in all the businesses too, which is great. We're definitely a team made in heaven. But the reality is if I didn't have exceptional organization and processes and systems and manage my time very carefully, I would not be able to make you guys a YouTube video every week. I can tell you that. I wouldn't be able to support hundreds of students every single month in our programs and graduate thousands of people through our training programs every single year without having the discipline of really good time management and organization. So think about, what does your schedule look like today? What things do you need to remove that do not serve your goals? That's the first thing. I'm always no wasted time. So I go through my schedule every single week, and every Monday I have kind of work on my business time. I have a couple hours on Monday where I will map out my schedule for the week. I will prepare for all of my meetings so I can show up. I can have the conversations. I'm prepared. I can navigate the meeting and kind of get what I need to out of that meeting and then move on to the next thing very, very quickly. On my training days, I'm 100% dedicated to my students. I show up, I'm in class, I'm in with them. So if it makes sense, wherever you are going to be, you need to be 100% dedicated in that space. When I shut the computer down at night, I'm making dinner for my family. I'm spending time with my husband. I'm talking to my kids, right? So you want to just have these buckets of time, and you can still have a very fulfilling life. In fact, I feel less anxiety and stress and chaos when I know, I can get to that Monday. I can put a pin in this. I can put a pin in that because I have time blocked for it. So get really good at juggling and managing your weekly schedule, especially if you're working another job. When I first started my first home-based travel business, I had another 40-hour-a-week+ week commitment, and I had young children at the time, and I had to balance all of those things and find time for each of those. So get good at managing that schedule. Where are you going to commit the time from? Where are you going to kind of double down, and then get rid of the extra stuff? And you may have to start saying no to stuff you don't want to do. If you don't want to do the PTA, don't do the PTA. If you love doing the PTA, that's great. But all I'm saying is, stop saying yes to stuff that doesn't fill your soul, right? I love growing businesses. I love my family. I love to travel. I love all the things. So I only do things literally that I love every single day. I have eliminated most stuff that was junk time or things that I just felt was not a good use of my time. And it took me years to do this because I was that type of person, I'll be there, I'll show up, I'll do all the things. And I just was exhausted. I was burning the candle at both ends. So now I'm very protective of my schedule. So I encourage you to do that as well. You also want to make sure you're meeting deadlines, you're managing your bookings efficiently for your clients, that there's final deposits are in, that you have automations built. So the minute that they book with you, they get an automation, they get reminders. You want to build in some of that tech that will help you with some of this time management as well. And then you want to maintain meticulous records. So these are things like, are you having them sign forms for if you're charging a fee? You have them sign insurance waivers. Do you have whatever legal forms that you have? We train different ones in our certification program. How are you keeping those on file? Where are you keeping them? Where do you keep your how are you noting? So you should be using a CRM system to note everything and have a copy of everything and store everything securely. So you're doing that at the next level. So if your client asks for something, you're like, what was that hotel we went to Paris back 4 years ago? You can find that information when her friend calls you to book and wants to stay at the same property, right? So guys, I hope that was helpful for you to go through that information. We went through a lot today. I know that was a lot of information. I also want to encourage you, if you have been thinking about certification or some of these things, you just don't know how to kind of put them all together. I know it's a lot. It took me 30 years. Like, I've been in the industry 3 decades to perfect and get all of these systems into a well-oiled machine. That is what we put inside our Careers on Vacation certification business program, where we teach all of you the same system so you can do them from day one. I wish I had my own program from day one. I would have saved so much money, so much time, so much energy, but that's okay. We're gifting out all of the lessons that the universe has given me. We have packaged it now, so it's done, and we gift that forward to our students by way of our certification program. So we encourage you to visit us at travelschool.com. You can read all about our certifications, get all of our pricing for our programs, and when you are ready, schedule a call with us. Reach out to us at careersonvacation.com/readynow so you too can get enrolled for the next summer. We're in late summer enrollments now for classes. So get enrolled so you can earn your certification. We can get you on a path to really big growth in your travel business this year. It would be our honor to help you. So guys, wherever you are in your journey, I wish you so much love, so much abundance. I wish you the world. See you guys next week. Last video, I want to encourage you to check out the other content we have here on the channel. We have amazing content at every level, no matter where you are in your travel industry journey, from aspiring to new to growing. Even our travel agency owners, look for those playlists and you can find some amazing content that's really catered just to you. And by the way, if you haven't signed up for your Wanderlust Campus free account, make sure you do that too. And you know what? I'm going to pick some videos and put them for you right here. Check those out. I'll see you next time.